Hello, Holy Trinity family. Happy Easter. I'm recording this on the day that Pope Francis breathed his last. We at Holy Trinity and people all over the world are grieving his loss and feeling trepidation about what his death means for our church. Will the movement toward a more radical inclusion be stalled, halted, reversed? Or, by some miracle, will it pick up stronger than ever? I imagine Mary Magdalene felt some of this on Easter morning, grieving for the loss of a friend who had expanded the notion of belonging in the kinship of God. Who knew that morning whether the movement would be stalled, halted, reversed, or, by some miracle, grow stronger than ever? I invite you to read the uninterrupted account of Mary Magdalene's encounter with the risen Jesus in John chapter 21, verses 1 to 18. On Easter Sunday, we heard only half the story. Today's gospel tells us the rest of that story, the heart of the resurrection story. So here's the whole story. While it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to Jesus' tomb. We know from the other gospel accounts in which she was accompanied by another Mary, the mother of James, Salome, Joanna, the wife of Chuza, and Susanna. We know that she intended to anoint Jesus' dead body with spikenard. The stone was rolled away, the tomb was open, and fearing his body had been taken, she ran for reinforcements. Peter and another disciple run with her back to the tomb, find it as Mary described, and go back home. But Mary stays outside the tomb weeping. She peers in, sees two angels, tells them, "We don't know where Jesus' body's been taken." Then she turns around and sees Jesus. At first, though, she thinks he's a gardener, and she accuses him of moving Jesus' body. Then Jesus says to her, "Mary." She turns again and in a tender moment recognizes him. He urges her, "Go, tell the others." So she runs back and announces to all the disciples, "I have seen the Lord." So the phrase from that gospel narrative that has stayed with me from Sunday is, "While it was still dark." While it was still dark, while Mary Magdalene was grieving, feeling loss, longing, heartbreak, she went to the tomb, and there she encountered the living light, Jesus risen. Maybe some of you went to the wonderful book event hosted at Holy Trinity, where our fellow parishioner Tim Shriver had a conversation with his sister Maria about her newly published book of poetry, I Am Maria. She went through hard, dark days, as we all do, and found that poetry provided strength and love to carry her forward. After that event, I resumed my lapsed practice of writing a daily haiku. And here's mine from Easter Sunday. While it is still dark, go out and look for the light of the world. So while it's still dark, go out and look for the living light. During Lent, women throughout the Catholic Church withheld their time, talent, and treasure from the Catholic Church. Women were protesting that the move toward inclusion, so promising at the start of the Synod on Synodality, was disappointingly stalled. I drew strength from the witness of so many who found creative ways to be faithfully disobedient, to risk getting into some good trouble, necessary trouble, as Congressman John Lewis used to say, for the sake of our church. My small protest was to decline to give any reflections during the season of Lent, as much as I truly appreciate and love this invitation to speak to you. So I broke that fast on Holy Thursday when I was given the opportunity to preside and preach at the morning prayer, where I stirred up a little good trouble by rejecting the image of only men at the Last Supper with Jesus. While it is still dark, go out and look for the living light. This is what Mary Magdalene did when it was still dark as she went looking for Jesus. This is what Maria Shriver did when it was still dark as she poured out her heart in poetry. And this is what I hope each of us individually and collectively can do. In the face of Pope Francis's death, in the face of our country's crisis, in the face of ongoing global violence, in the face of your own grief, loss, longing, and heartbreak, go out and look for the living light. And Jesus tells us where and when we will encounter the light. In serving and honoring each other the way Jesus did when he washed his friends' feet, the way Mary of Bethany did when she poured spikenard all over Jesus' feet. Jesus said we would encounter him, the light of the world, as we tend to each other at our most vulnerable, when hungry, thirsty, a stranger, naked, ill, and in prison. He said we would encounter him when we break bread together, when we enlarge the circle and erase the margins, when we see that we are all one. Will the movement toward a more radical inclusion be stalled, halted, reversed, or by some miracle picked up stronger than ever? It depends on you. While it is still dark, go out and look for and be the light.